Hey, what's going on? This is Sports Truth, and I'm your favorite host in the entire world, Jordan Harris. Today, I want to talk about the Cam Newton fight, or I don't know what you want to call it. Cam Newton incident, the scuffle that he got into. He apparently got jumped. It took me a while to talk about this because I wanted to wait to see what kind of details came out about it. I see so many people on TV, on the internet, talking about one perspective or the other perspective, and I'm like, y'all have no idea what really went on behind the scenes. So I've really been waiting to get a little bit more details to come out, but details have not come out yet. So I'm just gonna give my perspective on this. There's two different lessons that I want to make sure that we all learn from this, and one lesson comes from the perspective of Cam Newton, or let's call it the superior in the situation. The other comes from the kids or the other young adults that's fighting this situation. So I want to give two different perspectives on this. All right. So let's get into the first lesson that we all need to learn from this from the superior standpoint. And when I say superior, I mean if you're the pro athlete and you're talking to kids or you're counseling people on how to become a pro athlete, you are the superior in this situation. This would also be a situation similar to if you're a teacher and you have students in your classroom, you're the superior. It would also be if you're a business owner and you have employees, the business owner would be listed as the superior in this situation. So if you hear me say superior, that's what I'm talking about. All right. So I want to explain the first lesson learned through a quick little story. So when I was growing up, my dad was from Memphis, Tennessee. He was super focused on respect, especially respecting elders, respecting superiors. He was real big on that. He drilled that into me, drilled that into my siblings. He was big on that. So I remember growing up, I never really understood why, but he was crazy about never calling him outside of dad or daddy. So if we were playing basketball, because we grew up playing basketball, and the ball went out of bounds or something, and he said it was his ball, and I said, "Come on, man, it's my ball." The fact that I said, "Man," he would be ready to, he would be ready to snatch me up. He's like, "I'm not your man. You don't call me man." Like he was serious about that. I couldn't call him bruh or any of the stuff that you see some of these young folks today calling superiors. Never would fly with him. And I never really understood that until I was an adult and I was at one of my young nephew's birthday parties. It was like 5, 6 years old, a bunch of little kids playing and stuff. And I remember one adult who was overseeing the kids. She was like down on their level, like she was, down on her knees playing with these little 5, 6 year olds. And she kept calling them bruh, and she kept calling them girlfriend, and she kept having all these little nicknames and stuff that she was calling these little kids. And they were having a bunch of fun laughing and talking and giggling back and forth. So whenever it came time to clean up, when the party was over, this same adult who was calling these kids girlfriend and bruh and all this stuff, she was like, "All right, y'all, had a good time. It was a lot of fun. The party's over. It's time to clean up." And those little kids was giggling and was like, "No, I'm not cleaning up." And she was like, "No, I'm serious. It's time to clean up." And they would not clean up because they were like, "No, I'm not cleaning up." So once I saw that, it reminded me of how serious my dad was about never calling him bruh or any of that stuff. And it clicked. I'm like, okay. So he was super serious about never blurring that line between superior and student, if you want to call it that. He was always focused on never blurring that line between dad and son, dad and daughter, or teacher and student. Like he never blurred that line ever. And when I saw that situation, I'm like, that's why he was so focused on never blurring that line, because there would come a point in time when instead of him being here and me being here, if I was calling him bruh and all that stuff, maybe at some point I would start to see my dad on the same level as me and I wouldn't have that same reverence towards him, which is the same thing that played out at that party that I saw. So the lesson that I have that I would tell Cam Newton, I would say, never put yourself on the same level as these students, these kids, these athletes that you train in. They are not on your level. There was a video that came out a couple years ago where it was one. I think he was a high school football player talking crazy to Cam, and Cam was just letting it happen, and he was just talking back to him, saying, "Oh, I'm rich" and all this stuff, and the kid just kept on talking crazy to him. At that point, if it was me, that kid would be escorted out immediately, just so the other kids know you do not address me like that. We're not on the same level. I'm here to teach you. You're here to learn from me. I've made $150 million almost in my career. I'm here to help you. Don't talk crazy to me. We're not on the same level. So if you allow people to think that you're on the same level, then this kind of stuff happens. Kids punching at you, young adults grabbing you and trying to swing you around and do all this crazy stuff, get into fights. That's what happens when you allow people to think that they're on the same level as you. This is why if you're a business owner or you're a business manager, it's why it's important to be approachable, but make sure that you never cross that line of superior employee. Never fudge that line. You got to make sure you keep that line steady the entire time. Okay? That's the first lesson. That's the lesson I would tell the superior, being Cam Newton in this situation. Never let that line get crossed, get blurred. Got to make sure you keep that line super, super strict. Okay, now let's talk about from the other side of things, the other perspective, which is the students, the young athletes, the young parents who are looking up to Cam. Once again, Cam Newton made almost $150 million playing football. Let me look up to see just how much it actually was. Let's go here. Career earnings. Career earnings. He made $133.5 million over 11 seasons. If you think that Cam Newton is out here doing 7-on-7s to make money, you're nuts. Like, his career earnings, I told you what that was. His net worth is approximately $100 million right now. He's not hurting for money. He's got other things that he does to make money. He sells hats. He sells all kind of different clothes. Like, he's fine when it comes to money. He's not out here doing 7-on-7s to make money. He's at 7-on-7s to help the student athletes. That's what he's there for. He's there to help those young coaches potentially get better coaching positions. And apparently a little bit of news came out that said that Cam Newton was being an instigator in this situation, talking down to people, talking crazy. I'm not about that. I'm not with that whole thing. But at the same time, if he is there to help people, like, come on, man. Like, you shouldn't be out. Y'all shouldn't be out there fighting this dude. He's trying to make people's lives better. He's giving his time, which his time is really expensive. My time is expensive. He's worth multiple times what I'm worth. His time is crazy expensive. So for him to be out there giving y'all his time, you should be thankful for that. You should be soaking up the knowledge. So the thing that frustrates me the most about this, and I really don't like talking about this kind of stuff, but I want to talk about from a black community perspective on this. Do you think if Peyton Manning was putting this camp on, do you think these same people will be swinging and punching at Peyton Manning like this? Even if I don't know what Cam Newton was saying to these people, but I'm willing to bet you if Phillip Rivers was out there talking that whatever Cam Newton said, if Phillip Rivers was out there talking that same stuff, if he said the exact same sentences, these people would not be fighting Phillip Rivers like that. For whatever reason, our community, the black community, is the only community that views ourselves as less than every other community. I don't know what that is. I'm praying that somehow dissolves over time, but it drives me crazy. For some reason, people think that it's okay to attack this man who's out there giving his time, effort, energy, and money to help people. And they think it's okay to fight him and put it on camera and release that and let the world see it. Drives me crazy. But we got to somehow get past this whole mentality of black folks are at this level and all the other communities are up here. If we want the police to view us one way, we got to view ourselves that way. You know what I'm saying? So Something's got to change. I don't know what the answer is on that, but something's got to change. It drives me crazy. So those are the two perspectives that I really wanted to talk about, from the superior being a business owner, a classroom teacher, a professional athlete. Do not put yourself on the same level as the people that you're teaching, or they are going to take advantage of that and they won't know when to take you seriously. They will not understand the difference. They just will not. On the same, and then we talk about the other perspective from being the student or the people that's learning from the situation. If somebody is there giving you their time and they're a professional in that industry, you need to be thankful for that time and learn as much as you possibly can while they are there. Your job, while a professional is in your presence, is to soak up as much information as you possibly can so you can use that in your daily life and get to where they got to. It's the bottom line. All right, that's all I got for you today. My name is Jordan Harris once again. Please do like the video, subscribe to the channel. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I truly appreciate that. Take care. God bless. Peace.